Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. President-elect Donald Trump has issued a stern call for NATO allies to increase their defense spending, advocating for a rise from the current 2% of GDP target to 3%. British Foreign Minister David Lammy has expressed agreement with Trump's stance, indicating the UK's commitment to reaching 2.5% and urging other allies to exceed the existing threshold. This development underscores a significant push for enhanced military investment among NATO members. Absolutely. Everybody should be paying their fair share when you have a joint alliance as NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I believe that's what it means. Nonetheless, everybody should be paying their fair share. And that's what I think Donald Trump is, again, insinuating, that America first, because we have always been taking the large amount of debt. And other countries, especially in the Western European world, have not been paying their fair share, let alone countries like China, when it comes to consumerism, products, manufacturing, distribution, etc. So yes, everybody should be paying their fair share. We're going to be in this joint partnership. According to your GDP, we're going to pay 2% or 2.5% of GDP, then you guys should be paying that as well. Ukrainian President Zelensky has delivered a stark ultimatum to NATO, warning that if Ukraine is not granted membership, the country may pursue nuclear weapons as a means of self-defense. This declaration comes amid ongoing delays in Ukraine's NATO membership process, raising concerns about regional security dynamics and the potential for nuclear proliferation. Isn't that weird? So you're going to give an ultimatum to NATO, the same organization that you're trying to be a part of to protect you from Russia, and you're saying, well, if you guys don't give us membership into NATO, we're going to start to pursue nuclear weapons. Is there going to be a Ukraine left for you guys to even do that? Because again, if you're going to give ultimatums, and then Americans just give ultimatums, President Trump comes in like, listen, a lot of Republicans are thinking we've been funding this war for quite some time now. We don't see the actual benefit of us keeping you guys an independent, free country. Okay, you're not part of NATO, so we really don't have any quote unquote legal official ties to you. So we'll just cut you off. You want to make ultimatums? Okay, cool. Go ahead and sort out nuclear weapons. Who has that technology? Oh, let me think. Russia has nuclear capabilities. America has nuclear capabilities. Who else? Does North Korea have nuclear capabilities? Does China have nuclear capabilities? Wait a minute. Isn't Russia, China, and North Korea are allies? Aren't they friends? You think they're going to give you their nuclear capabilities or their intelligence about it, their research and development about it? Absolutely not. Where are you going to get the information from? Are you going to get it from the European powers? I'm pretty sure the Brits, countries that are part of the UK, I'm pretty sure they have some nuclear technology that are a part of NATO. You think they're going to give you the technology? How in the hell are you expected to get more funding, more support, and the supposed nuclear technology if you give an ultimatum to people that you need? How would I come into somebody's place of study, place of work, where they lay their head and say, you know what, if you don't let me inside your house, if you don't let me inside this organization, then I'm going to give you an ultimatum, then I'm going to go out and do this, and I'm going to go out and do that. Wait a minute. Don't you need support? Don't you need assistance? Don't you need help? How are you going to give us an ultimatum? See, this is the problem. You're biting the hand that's feeding you. This is crazy. I don't know why he will come out and say anything like this. But again, when you've been supporting a country for so long, they become indignant about what you're supposed to do for them. You guys ever been in a relationship where people, you've been doing things for people for a very long time, whether it be acts of service or monetary or gift giving, all these different things that you can do for someone, and they feel entitled as though you should keep doing it, even though you may not be in a relationship, even though the relationship is not the way it used to be. I'm trying to put it into perspective for you guys, because I just can't believe Ukraine will come out and say this. Oh, we're going to start looking at nuclear technology. Oh, okay. We got nukes. Go ahead and get some. But again, the way that we try to go about policing the world, hopefully we don't cave. We got to show a strong stance, a strong show of force when it comes to people giving America and NATO forces ultimatums. President Joe Biden is contemplating issuing preemptive pardons for individuals such as Representative Adam Schiff and Dr. Anthony Fauci, who may face legal actions under the incoming Trump administration. These unprecedented move has ignited a lot of controversy among Democrats and Republicans alike, with discussions centering on the implications for justice and political precedents. Yeah, the American people, let alone a lot of Republicans and well as some Democrats, do not want President Joe Biden to give these preemptive, pardons to Adam Schiff and especially Dr. Anthony Fauci. Man, he has been the fall guy for a lot of things, which, again, there's been a trail of truth there. So again, he made this do this because at this point, some of the moves, some of the decisions that President Joe Biden has been making, he doesn't care what people think at this point. He said, you guys ousted me out for running for my consecutive term as president. I'm going to do whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. And that's been the tale of the tape. That's been pretty much his bottom line. I'm going to do whatever I want. You guys forced me out. Nancy Pelosi and all these other people forced me out. Made me feel like I'm a sleeping senior. Make me feel like my health is failing, like I can't run this country. And again, the proof was in the pudding. A lot of people saw this. As you see, a lot of these dinosaurs are still in Congress. A lot of these dinosaurs still in the Senate. A lot of them actually need to retire. And that new blood, new fresh Republicans, new fresh Democrats, new fresh independents come in and lead the charge of America. A lot of these people have failing health. Go and enjoy your life. I know being a politician and covering up lots. Passing legislative is very stressful. So, a lot of the conspiracy, a lot of the international dealings that you guys do, don't tell the American people, inform the American people through different news media agencies. I know that you guys are just kind of tired, again. During a recent campaign swing in Pennsylvania, President Joe Biden made several statements that have been scrutinized for accuracy. Notable claims regarding his annual earnings, prescription drug spending caps, and travel frequency to conflict zones have been identified as false or misleading, preempting calls for greater factual precision and political discourse. Here's the issue. For quite some time, we've been looking at the Democratic Party, believing that they're the party of truth, believing that they're the party who are for the people, believing that the party is for the middle class, the lower middle class, as well as the poverty class. But no, where we come to find out when we're talking about your Sean Hannity's, your Tucker Carlson's, your Candace Owens, your Officer Tatum's, all of these people are beginning to seem more right than more wrong. And that is where I've always kind of stayed neutral, because sometimes you have to stay neutral and not just jump aside. Now, some people, you guys are just so intelligent, you're so smart, you have all the facts up front. But someone like me, you have to sit right there in the middle and listen to the left and listen to the right, and then listen to the left and then listen to the right. And then right there, the truth would eventually reveal itself, because everyone knows anything that's done in the dark would eventually come to light. And it seems as though through all the rhetoric, through all the conjecture, through all the bias, that the right, the Republicans, the GOP, the conservatives are seeming more right than they are more wrong. There's just so much government scrutiny, government fraud that has been occurring under the Democrats and is now coming to, and I just hope that a lot of people wake up, not just black folk who just jump on the Democratic Party just because of the Civil Rights Act that was signed back in 63 and 64. Just wake the hell up and look. And I'm not saying jump to the Republican Party. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just have enough sense to see that one political party has been lying more so than the other. That's all I'm stating. During a recent campaign swing, I think I already discovered this, but nonetheless, this is what I was referring to. Biden made false and misleading claims during Pennsylvania campaign swing. And look at the news media that's reporting this. CNN, the one that we know is paid and bought for by the Democratic Party. Even now, they are telling the truth. I wonder, it's because of the incoming President-elect Donald Trump. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of people are jumping to the right, and the whole time they was on the left. I'm just saying, maybe it's me. Senator Adam Schiff has condemned President-elect Donald Trump's suggestions that former members of the House January 6th committee should face imprisonment. Schiff also addressed reports of potential preemptive pardons from President Biden, stating that such measures are unnecessary and emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule of law. Well, Adam Schiff is the same one who secretly and allegedly is trying to get a preemptive pardon, but he's saying that he's against it. you might want to watch your back. You might want to be knocking on the door of Joe Biden and say, yeah, I know what I said publicly, because that's where we have to understand, people, that a lot of politicians, doesn't matter what political party, they say a lot of things publicly, then they say something differently privately. So look for Adam Schiff to get some sort of part from Joe Biden or try to rub shoulders with Donald Trump to get on his good side so those things don't happen. Now, a recent report by the Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General has revealed that the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants present in the Washington, D.C. during the events of January 6, 2021. Notably, the report indicates that the majority of these informants engaged in illegal activities during the Capitol riot. What does that mean? That means that these 26 informants were almost acting as if they were like Antifa. Because don't forget, people in certain societies, certain demographics believe that all the destructions and riots during the BLM movement, okay, that these so-called peaceful protests turned violently and that black folks were just burning buildings and throwing bricks, but then to come to find out it was Antifa. There were these white liberals who was dressed in all black, dropping off bricks so things would be destroyed as if the black people were doing that. No, we never really had a history of destroying property unless someone unjustly got killed. But when it comes like the movement behind George Floyd, no, we realized that was Antifa. So when we look at the January 6th riot, the only information we receive is that these guys went out, even though Donald Trump, and I pointed this out, even though Donald Trump told them to go out and have a peaceful protest, and all pandemonium and chaos started to occur. Could it have been these 26 FBI informants who were the instigators of some of the violent acts of police officers and Capitol security guards getting harmed, injured, or being backed off? I'm just saying, I don't know. Because the informant environment of the 26 confidential sources, 4 entered the Capitol building and 13 assessed restricted areas. Only 9 informants were found not to have participated in any illegal actions. Now, here's the lack of undercover agents. The OIG report found no evidence, supposedly, suggesting that FBI undercover employees were present among the protest crowds or inside the Capitol on January 6th. This encounters early speculations that undercover agents might have been involved in inciting or orchestrating the events. The report clarifies that the FBI did not authorize these informants to engage in legal activities. Of course, throw the rock, hide your hand. Because there's a lot of clandestine, unofficial, black op missions that occur throughout the federal government altogether. And I think that's why Donald Trump wants to put in place Cash Patel to get rid of all these clandestine, undercover black op missions that occur, because again, they throw the rock, hide the hand, like, well, we didn't do it. Oh, well, we found that 26 FBI informants were actually there. Oh, well, we didn't know they were doing it. Oh, okay. First we didn't do it, then we didn't know they were doing it. Oh, okay. Now we understand that. Yeah. We understand that. The OIG identified the miscommunication and poor coordination within the FBI, leading to inaccurate information reported to Congress. The report recommends that the FBI enhance clarity and procedures for intelligence gathering and future events to prevent similar issues. In response to the report, the FBI defended its action during the January 6 events, but acknowledged the need for process improvements. Really? The Bureau emphasized that it did not direct any informant to participate in illegal activities and reiterated its commitment to upholding legal and ethical standards in operations. Now, if it was like 3 or 4 or 5, you probably can get away with that, but 26, yeah, that number's too high for you guys not to know what really happened and why these people were there. This report provides a nuanced understanding of the FBI's involvement during the January 6th Capitol riot, highlighting the presence of informants who engage in unauthorized illegal activities while also dispelling theories about undercover agents orchestrating the events. The findings underscore the importance of clear communication and coordination within law enforcement agencies during critical incidents. Now, this kind of leads me into how we put so much attention on January 6th. But did you guys know that the Kamala Harris campaign raised, I think it was almost $1 billion And we will look at some of the donors, and I did this in another broadcast, but I kind of wanted to bring this back into fruition, is where is this $1 billion that all these people donated money to the Harris campaign? Where does that money go? Where's the money, Kamala? Where's the money, Joe? I've been asking, where is the money? Because again, I said this about Al Sharpton, that his network received $500,000 to the National Action Network. And I'm pretty sure that organization needs the money, but why does his network need the money if you're then supporting Kamala Harris? Doesn't it sound like quid pro quo? Like, doesn't it sound like this for that? Doesn't it sound like if you give me this money, I'll give you a favorable interview to entice and encourage and persuade and mislead Democrats, especially black folk, to vote for Kamala Harris? Right. And all these people came out to defend her, as well as Oprah Winfrey. But Oprah Winfrey received over $2 million, like $2.5 million, so to speak. And guess what? Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire. Does she really need? I can't really understand what people need or what they don't need. But if you're a billionaire and you really support this candidate, wouldn't you be giving them money versus them giving you money? But again, we're talking about almost $1 billion of taxpayers' money, other rich moguls, entertainers. Everybody was, again, donating to the Kamala Harris campaign. And now everybody's asking where all that money. Are you going to give it back? No. What Kamala Harris is going to do is going to state, well, you know, I'm thinking about running in 2028, which we already know you're very, very unpopular. You were the most unpopular vice president of all time. And then your president has already been named the most unpopular or bad president of all time. Do you believe that you're going to have a chance in hell after what you've done to this country, what you and Joe Biden has done to the country? Do you have a chance in hell? No. Again, where is the money? Because again, you're giving rich people money. Now, I'm not saying that Al Sharpton is rich, but I believe that he's a millionaire. He's an anchor on MSNBC News. But nonetheless, a lot of American people are like, okay, now that you guys have lost and almost $1 billion has been donated to your campaign, where's that money? No, she probably bought an island. You know, a lot of rich people always buy islands and they build up the island however they want. They have amusement parks and clowns and things of that nature. I don't know what's going on. Now, I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention about presidential pardons. Presidential pardons, I know there's a lot of questions around it. I know a lot of people are really trying to understand what a presidential pardon is. How can they use it? Can they pardon themselves? So let's break down a couple of things. A presidential pardon is the constitutional power granted to the president of the United States to forgive individuals convicted of federal crimes. This power is derived from Article 2, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which gives the president authority to grant reprisals and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. The president's power to pardon is broad, but not unlimited. Here's what the president can do with this power: grant full pardons, completely forgive individuals for their crime, erasing the legal consequences of the convictions, commutations of sentence, reduce the severity of punishment, such as shortening a prison sentence without erasing the conviction itself, reprisals, temporary delayed punishment, often used in death penalty cases, remission of fines and forfeiture, cancel fines, penalties, or asset forfeitures resulting from a federal conviction, like Rita Cromwell. President Joe Biden cut her sentence in half as time served. She only did like 9 or 10 years and forgave her for $54 million, and she embezzled in city funds. Conditional pardons grant clemency under certain conditions, such as requiring community service or restitution payments. Clemency for federal crimes only. The president can only pardon federal offenses, not state or local crimes. Despite the broad powers of presidential pardons, there are specific limitations on what the president cannot do. Pardon impeachments, pardon state crimes, pardon civil cases, pardon future crimes. Very, very important, Anthony Fauci. Oh, Dr. Anthony Fauci, oh, Adam Schiff, oh, Liz Cheney. pardon future crimes. Can't do it. A president cannot issue preemptive pardons for crimes that they have not been committed, but they can issue pardons. Listen to this. The wording and the etymology of words is very important, but they can issue pardons for uncharged conduct, like Gerald Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon, which covered potential crimes related to Watergate. You see that? Let me read that again. Pardon future crimes. A president cannot issue preemptive pardons for crimes that have not been committed, but they can issue pardons for uncharged conduct, like Gerald Ford did President Richard Nixon, which cover potential crimes related to Watergate. You see how they can do that? Well, you haven't been convicted of this crime, but we can pardon you for the conduct, which essentially resolves them of the crime itself. So they can, but it's very misleading. This is one of the most debated constitutional questions when we're talking about presidential pardons. There is no direct precedent for a president attempting to pardon themselves, and the Constitution does not explicitly address it. Here's what some experts are stating: argument for self-pardon. Some legal scholars argue that since the pardon power is so broadly defined in Article 2, Section 2, it could theoretically include self-pardons. They cite the president's unrestricted authority to issue pardons for federal offenses. Now, here's some historical context for you guys. Nixon's case. When Richard Nixon faced potential charges after the Watergate scandal, his legal team explored the possibility of self-pardon. However, he resigned before taking such an action. His successor, President Gerald Ford, issued him a full pardon instead. Trump's discussions. There were reports that Donald Trump considered pardoning himself while in office, but he never acted on it. His legal team argued that such a move would be constitutional, but acknowledged it would likely be challenged in court. And let me tell you this: can presidents pardon themselves? According to the Constitution, they can, because there's nothing in the Constitution stating that they can't. So anything that's not in the Constitution saying that they can't, then I'm just going to let you know they can. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here this morning. There's a lot to be said, and I'm telling you, you guys need to watch out for the upcoming news here, because there's a lot that's coming out. A lot of truth is being revealed here before the new year of 2025. 2024 has definitely been the year of truth. Thank you guys for joining me here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is Blacklogic.